Hey everybody, it's your man Tyke coming to you with another true spook story. Now, before I begin, I would like to ask that you hit that like button, go and subscribe to the channel, and share me if you're feeling the content. Now, this story is going to take place in the Orlando, Florida area, right off of Silver Star Road in the Pine Hills community. Now, when I say this story is on of a personal nature, it creeps me the fuck out every time I still think about it. And you guys will understand once I get to telling the story how this happened and what I found out. So again, the story is going to take place Pine Hills in the Pine Hills community off of Silver Star Road in what they call Hibiscus Place Apartments. Now it's called Hibiscus Place, but it was originally called Georgetown about 20 years when I lived there. So I'll get into the story. So I was about 21, 22 years old, and I had gotten my first apartment with this chick I was dating by the name of Demetria. Chick was pretty cool. I met her at the strip club. I was out there gang banging. You know how it is. Selling dope, gang banging, strip club was a part of the whole persona. So it is what it is. I was enjoying life. So I met her. Thought I fell in love with her. Nigga thought I was gonna be forever with this bad black chick. So we get to moving in together and stuff, and everything is going all cool. Well, this girl had a really bad drinking problem. And when I say a really bad drinking problem, she was younger than me by like 2 years. So she's like 19 years old. And I mean, when I say she a lush, she get fucked up, she get fucked up. She used to go sit and hang up under the tree over there in town with a lot of the old heads, her uncle and them and all that stuff. And she'll drink beer and like have a fifth of gin in her purse and shit. She would sit under the tree, talk, smoke. I don't know if she smoked cigarettes or weed, but she would talk and just chill with them for like 12 in the afternoon to like 6, 7 o'clock at night. If she wasn't at the strip club stripping, or she wasn't working her job at the dollar store, she was under the tree. I don't know if none of the dudes hit her or not. I guess they knew I was dealing with her, but it never came to me that they were talking to her. But that's neither here nor there. So the chick was like drinking her ass off, and we was together. So it came down to the whole. It came down to the whole thing. We living together, and I didn't have a car at that time. I had started cleaning my shit up. I said I ain't gonna sell dope. I'm finna go get me a job working at a warehouse and stuff. So I started getting a little logistics job working at a warehouse, and I was working up the road directly from the apartments off of Silver Star Road, but it was Winn-Dixie warehouse was on the back street. So I working at a Winn-Dixie warehouse while I was messing around with her. So she used to have to drive me to work in the morning. So some days she didn't want to drive me to work. She would start treating me like shit. I'm paying all the bills. She started treating me like shit. I'm like, hey, D, get a nigga to work. I gotta be there at 6:30 in the morning. It's 5:30. I'm up. And she was like, you can't walk. You got an hour to get there. You can't walk. So I ain't want to trip. She had started treating me bad, family. I'm so sorry. I'm hating myself because I went through that fuck shit. But I'm just talking now. Don't mind me. That's just a little pain point. Y'all gotta forgive me. Sometimes going down memory lane, touch a nerve. But back to the story. So I used to ask her to do things for me since I had got the apartment, and I was being a traditional boyfriend because I was in love, you know, taking care of all the bills. You ain't have to do nothing but chill at the house, keep the house clean. You know, you get in your car and you go visit your mom and them. You go hang out with your auntie and them all day. When I get off work, just be home waiting on the nigga. Didn't think nothing of it. Didn't think she was cheating. Didn't think anything like that. So it started getting around when I go to family cookouts and family shit that I'm a fool. I'm a goddamn idiot. Everybody laughing at me. That nigga love meat so much that, he'll eat her dirty draw. I'm motherfucking love with meat. Meat. You know, motherfucker, that boy, hey, tight. Meat need $100. You gonna give it to her? Yeah. They saying shit like that. So I'm like, man, this some fuck shit, right? So you can feel when you being too gullible of a nigga in the family of the chick you dealing with dogging you out, or vice versa. So I had started getting in my feelings, y'all. I started getting in my feelings. So when I got in my feelings, I say I need to talk to grandma. So I go there to grandmama. And let me tell you, and what made it so bad, people, this is the only female my grandma, when my grandma was living, this is the only female my grandma liked. My grandma say she remind me of little me when I was young, cause just had that take no shit, better than a motherfucker attitude. I run my own shit, I live my own life type energy. Man, grandma loved that girl. She would go there and she'll hang out with grandma. She'll buy grandma backer. She'll be all over there chilling. So grandma was like, you treat her right type. Now don't you fuck over this girl. So I'm like, grandma, she fucking over me. I say she ain't coming home at night. I mean, when I get to the crib, she pulling up an hour after I get there from hanging out with her family and friends. I say, that ain't how a man's supposed to be. So grandma, sit down. Now that's my grandbaby. And he a good one now. Don't lose him. She'll say some easy shit like that to her. Or tell me don't fuck over, don't break up with her. She like her, she a good girl. So I stuck that thing on out. Now things started getting real bad between me and me. I mean, we are just like at each other's throats. We're arguing, we're cursing. I don't believe in hitting no woman. But, it wasn't never no fisticuffs. But we arguing, cursing, bitching, and clacking back and forth. Boom, 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 whoop, whoop, whoop. Her brother and them coming over there. Oh, why you call my sister a bitch? And, so now I'm boxing their ass up. Why you sat up there and why you took my sister keys to her car? Because the bitch, she ain't going nowhere. She my chick. So I'm going through the whole family. We knocking heads every week. Go to the cookout. We friends. Come next week. Now we fighting each other. So it was toxic as fuck. So it had got so bad that probably 6-7 months into the relationship, she just stopped coming home altogether. She was going out with her friends to the clubs. She was going to the club 3 times a week. She was going to this is the hangout club. Then she was working at the strip club like 3 nights a week. And then she would spend the remainder of her time hanging out under the tree drinking or at family cookouts and barbecues and spade games and card games and shit, dominoes and bone. So, I'm a good dude now and I got a sophisticated job. I done got the job. 6 months I done became the manager at the warehouse. So I'm trying to do the right thing. I ain't selling dope no more. I ain't riding big Chevy, no gold chain. I'm down to a motherfucking beach cruiser, riding to work on a beach cruiser. So I done failed. But I failed for love. So while all of this shit going on, she ain't coming home. So I had discovered this video game. I want to say Resident Evil. Yeah, it was Resident Evil, the original one when they had the lady cop and the bitch when she was working in Raccoon City. So when she was doing the shit Raccoon City. So in the meantime, I'm sitting up there with the Xbox or the PlayStation, I forget which one, and I'm spending my time. I get off work, I couldn't wait to come home and play the game. I had even stopped thinking we was in a relationship. So I had the house real dark one night, people, and I'm telling you some shit. I had the house real dark one night, and she had stopped coming around for a long time. And like she'll come now, I'll be laying down in the bed and I'll wake up and she'll be in the bed next to me, because I had to go to sleep by 9, 10 o'clock. And she'll get in about 11 or 12 because she didn't work. So I played the video game and I started thinking, and I had the house real dark and I was so engulfed in the game that anytime you open the door and go into another room and then it'd be little jump scares in the game, zombies and shit jump out on you, I was just that entrenched. And I thought, okay, damn, zombie gonna get me. So when I turn off the game, I'm going to the bathroom, I unlock the door and I'm opening the door. I'm thinking a zombie gonna get me. Something, because the apartment we lived in had an eerie feeling. So we lived in an apartment apartment A2. Cause when you go in there, you go in there, you look to the right and to the left, and you got apartment A1 at the bottom. We was on the second floor, apartment A2. So you go upstairs, boom, that's our apartment. So it had always had a creepy energy in the apartment. So I'm in there chilling, going to sleep. So one night it got real bad, and she came home 12 something, and I woke up, and I wanted to fuck. I'm like, oh bitch, you gonna give me some of that boy, like let's roll, And she like, I'm tired, I don't want to give you none. So now I'm in my feelings, I'm hurt, bitch, I'm doing all this. Now I'm pulling, trump cards here. I pay all the bills, you don't gotta work, you just hang out and chill, you drink, you wearing the fly clothes, all your stripper money going to your bank account or to your helping your mama and them out their situation. I'm paying the bills in the house, chilling, whoop whoop. So I'm like, you need to be fucking a nigga at least, cause we ain't screwed in like 2-3 months. So she was like, damn, okay, here, get some. And then, I tried to do it, but it just wasn't right. And bitch, you ain't giving me no charity pussy. Nah, I ain't no charity motherfucking fuck. I ain't no charity nigga. So, so we stopped having sex altogether. That shit was out. So I said, I'm finna break up with this bitch. I'm finna leave this motherfucker. I'm done. I'm done. So now, when I told her I was done, she really stopped coming home and hanging out at the house. She hanging out at her friend Takara and them house and Shalisa and them house and shit like that. She was just hanging out with random friends and shit that I knew of, but that I didn't think she fucked with like that. These all people she was working at the strip club with. So I'm at home by myself, depressed. So people listen to me good. When I say this, I'm saying this for real nigga shit here. Every night I laid in the bed, there was somebody hugging me and holding me. And somebody was hugging me and holding me. And I'm like, oh, fuck. And I could feel every night. And I was so scared that I didn't turn around. I didn't move. I would just stay in one spot because, we had one bed, and I ain't turn on the lights because I was trying to save power. And the moonlight was shining in the windows because I parked the curtains and the blinds a little bit. And I lay down in the bed, and this lady, and I know it was a lady figure, she would press down on the bed. I could feel, I'm laying in the bed. She could press down in the bed. I feel the bed move, press down, the springs fold. And then I'd like feel her get next to me and she cuddle me and she'll hold me in my sleep. Like, and I'd be so scared, but it was the best feeling. Like she was spooning the fuck out of me. And I go to sleep like that, and I wake up the next morning. And when I wake up the next morning, the bed, it will be an imprint of somebody laying in that bed all night. So when I leave for work, Meat would come home and do what she had to do because we was on two conflicting schedules. At that time, I wasn't even hitting nobody else. Nigga just was beating off and shit, cause I always hoped that she'll come back and I ain't want no drama, no controversy, no shit. But it never worked out like that for us. So one day I go down to the office and I'm paying the rent. I had a money order. Back in the day, we had to pay with money orders. I go down to the rent, get the money order, and I say, hey, man, did anything happen in that apartment up there where I live? And everybody was like, no, I don't think nothing happened. That's a hush situation. And they'll go in the back and start laughing. So now I'm going to leave it right there, people. Listen, I'm going to leave it right there. I asked them, did anything happen in that apartment? And I'm going to leave it right there. So now, when me and Meat first moved in the apartment, although the carpet was brand new, there was a stain in the middle of the carpet and a stain on the wall. You can tell where they had cut it out with a drywall knife and patched another drywall. Like, they didn't change all the drywall on the wall, but you could tell it was a stain. Because when the moon shined on it, it was always a stain that hit the wall and it hit the carpet. And I'd get down there and try to scrub it up, and it never came up. Even when we turned on the light, that stain was there. So I said, could y'all come and change the carpet in this bitch? So I say, he got a stain. So they come up there, they see the stain. They move the carpet. They move the little under padding under the carpet. They put brand new carpet down. They did the shit one time. I say, that spot on the wall, they say, that's just painted over. We can't do nothing about that. So every night the stain would be there. I get up in the middle of the night, go to the kitchen, the stain would be there. Stain on the wall. Wake up the next morning, I see the stain on the brand new carpet. So I just said, fuck it. So I put a throw rug over the bitch. I'm like, well, whatever happened. So I kept asking the office, did anybody get hurt in this house? Did anybody get hurt in this house? They like, no, we don't talk about that. We don't talk about that. So there was this Haitian lady downstairs under me. Yeah, she was a Haitian lady. She lived under me. And I don't speak Creole. And back in the day, they English wasn't so good. So I don't speak Creole. So when I walked down there, I did the best I can trying to ask her questions and emulate. But her grandson pulls up and he start like speaking Creole to her, translating it for me. So I'm like, hey mama, how you doing? I had went to the store and got her a bag of cornmeal and some pet milk, some condensed milk, and as a gift. And she told him the girl that used to live in the house upstairs above her, her boyfriend killed her in the house. So like the girl died in the apartment. And I was like, what? And he was like, yeah, she say somebody died. Say the dude beat her to death with his fist and something. And like in the middle of the thing, and the body had to get her out of there. And say that they wasn't supposed to rent that apartment. Say that apartment had stayed vacant for like 2 years until I came along and rented it. So I said, okay, that's crazy. So say like he threw against the wall and he beat against the wall, but he ended up cracking her head. So I went online. Back in the day, internet was in its infancy, and I was trying to find it. But what I found was a homeboy of mine named Earl, who used to live in the same apartment, cause he took pictures in front of. They had all that shit online back in the day. He took pictures of it, but then Earl got into it with his girlfriend, and his girlfriend killed him on Silver Star Road. Shot him dead on Silver Star Road. I went to school with Earl. So I'm like, damn, this apartment must be cursed or some shit. So I say, okay, cool. But then I'm like, the ghost ain't fucking with me. So I go back to grandma and I tell grandma what went on. I say, the Haitian lady downstairs say that, the guy and the girl was up there. The guy beat the girl to death and shit like that. So grandma was like, ooh, that's nasty. Grandma said, baby, you need to go and get out of there. You could break your lease. You could break your lease. So I'm listening to grandma. Okay, I'm finna break the lease. Fuck it. So I had went down to the office. I told them I paid them up like 2 months. I said, I won't be here. I'm just breaking the lease. And they like, why? I say, because y'all didn't disclose to me that somebody died in the apartment. And they like, well, who told you that? Which resident told you that? Because they was upset. I say, nobody. So I say, did somebody die in the house? So now they got a law where they got to disclose to you if somebody passed away in the apartment in the house. So they admitted, yeah, young chick. Never seen a picture of the chick. Nothing. So now I'm living in this bitch for about 2-3 more weeks prior to me breaking the lease. So I'm like, cool. So every night I'm in there. Now I know that this is a real apparition that's laying next to me while I'm all sad. Because keep in mind, D, meet one with me. She was hanging out with her family, staying at friend's house. She knew we was all but broke up. So I'm laying in the bed one night, and remember I told you, y'all remember back to the Resident Evil game where you have to twist the knob and walk through, and it was this thing in that game that used to like try to coax you to come into the room. So one night I'm laying down in the bed and I'm crying because, I'm missing the chick. I'm giving up all my little life, and I gave up all my little dope boy and bitches and dreams and shit. So I'm crying. So I say, man, I'm finna leave. I say, I'm getting out of here. So as I was trying to get out of, I was saying, I'm finna put on some clothes and get out of the house. As I'm getting out the house was completely dark. I couldn't see a damn thing. It was like walking in pure darkness. And I say, I'm getting out of this bitch. I'm getting out of this bitch. And some just told me, get out the house. Get out the house. Get out the house now. Get out the house now. So I jump up. I got on my little night robe and my pajamas, and my slippers was right there by the room door. So I threw them bitches on, and I'm trying to get out the house. As I'm trying to get out the apartment, I'm going up the hallway, passing the kitchen, and it taking everything I got to put one leg in front of the other. It taking everything I got, and I'm just trying my best to walk, and it's so hard. So I'm feeling like I'm being choked and dragged at the same time. So being choked and dragged at the same time. And I'm like, man, I gotta get out. I just gotta go see grandma. I'm saying I'm finna go sleep on grandma's porch. I'm finna go sleep at grandma's house. I just had to get out that house, y'all. So as I'm struggling to get out the house, bam, I'm struggling, I'm struggling, I'm struggling. So I make it to the door and I see the spot on the ground. But when I look at the spot on the ground, I see the body of a dark-skinned girl, about 125 pounds, very beautiful dark-skinned girl, but she had no facial features, y'all. She had no face, no nose, no eyes. She just had a bob haircut, very slim, about 5'6", 5'7", white silk nightgown, that form fitting. You know the ones from the little sex romantic videos and shit they shoot in the music industry. Them type of shits, the TLC sexy slim shits. So she laying on the ground, but I'm feeling like I can't move. And I turned around and I was gonna help her because I'm like, I said, damn, meat, when you got here? Because she almost took the form of meat. And I'm like, shit, I can't leave meat. She here, she sleep on the floor, she sad. No, let me go see. But then I kept hearing another voice say, that's not her. Get out the house. Get out the house. That's not her. You're finna die. You're finna die. And I said, okay, I said, don't go. That ain't me. So then I looked on the wall and I seen the spot on the wall because the moonlight was shining through on those two spots. So I'm like, okay. I say, it's a ghost. It's a trick. It's a ghost. It's a trick. So I forced my way to the door. Now, as I force my way to the door, I turn the knob, and I ain't got no power, people. No energy, no power. I turn the door knob, and I pull it. And when I pull it, it only opens about 6, 7 inches. And I'm like, probably 8 to the most. And I'm like, I gotta get out this house. But as I trying to get out the house, I look back on the ground. The apparition, the apparition of the corpse, the body, is no longer on the ground no more. But the stain is there, and the stain is like black, kind of black, cause the moon hitting it, and the stain on the wall is black, like it's shining through. So, but I look at the hallway where we come from by the room and past in the kitchen, and it's so dark there, but now it's like the stove light on. I didn't see that before. So I say, I gotta get out, something playing with my head, something playing with my head. So I was able to get half of my body through the door. And as I'm getting half of my body through the door, I end up hearing my daughter's voice. Yeah, my baby girl. She wasn't born yet. I heard my daughter's voice. Daddy, Daddy, don't go, don't leave me, Daddy, Daddy. And I'm like, oh shit, I gotta get my baby. Then I realized I don't have no daughter. I got sons. I got like 2 kids now. I ain't got no little girl. Why is this little girl voice calling me to come get her? So I said, so I was gonna turn around, but I said, no, no, no. The voice say, it's a trick. Keep going, keep going. So I finally managed to make it out the house. And when I made it out the house, the door slammed shut. Boom! It slammed so shut, it's like I pulled the bitch closed. And I'm like, oh my God. So I'm on the porch and I'm just laying down there breathing hard. So everybody hear the door slam, so they thought me and Meat was fighting again. So the next door neighbor, I think her name was Elsa, she came down and she like, y'all like that shit again? I say, no. I say, Miss Elsa, what's going on now? I said, I feel like I just fought a ghost. And Miss Elsa, she was Caribbean. She didn't give a fuck. She like, that ghost bitch that died in that house. That ghost bitch that died in that house. She come back to get your black chalky ass. Yeah, you're a cute little motherfucker too. Her last husband, he kind of looked like you. He was cute and dark skinned too. And I'm like, what? And she like, yeah, but he beat her motherfucking head in. That bitch ain't had no skull, no nothing when they dragged her out of there. So he threw her ass all over that apartment. I'm surprised you in there. I ain't say nothing. They told me not to say nothing. She was just a chatty old bitch. So I'm like, oh my God. So I'm breathing hard. I get downstairs and I sleep on the porch. I just sleep on the stairs. The next morning, daybreak come. I go back in the house, daylight shining through. Cool, I get everything, and I say, I ain't coming back to this motherfucker by myself no more. Nah, that's not the creepy part, people. I know y'all hate when I say that, but that's the struggle. I'm finna tell y'all the creepy part, what's going on part, this motherfucker right here. So after I leave the house and I go talk to grandma and I tell grandma exactly what happened that night. Grandma, this what happened. A to Z, whoop the whoop. I say I even seen the apparition of the lady and everything. Grandma say, let me come over here to this motherfucking house with you. She say, ain't no ghost bitch finna scare my grandson. I say, you know it. So now we sitting out there talking shit in the car. Yeah, we trapped that ghost bitch. I say, I have me some ghost coochie, grandmama. Grandma laughing to my, boy, shut up. You the devil. You a heathen. We just laughing. I say, let's bind that whole dog, put her in the cage, grandma. I say, I could take her out the cage. I say, the only nigga hunting a ghost. She was laughing so hard. That tickled me and my grandma. Boy, I couldn't believe it. That tickled her ass bad. So me and grandma get to the apartment, and when we get to the apartment, grandma was like, man, going up them stairs gonna hurt my motherfucking knee. I'm like, come on, grandma, hold on to my arm, I got you. So I get behind grandma and I'm like, she say, I don't need you to fucking hold me. And I said, all right, all right. So I'm walking behind her, making sure she don't fall. And she get to about the third step and she looked back at me with her glasses on and she, nigga, you expect me to go in the bitch before you? Is your shit. You get in there. I was like, all right, grandma. So she get your ass on in there. So when I opened the door and I went in there, grandma instantly stopped and said, ooh, this janky ass apartment. I can smell the mildew and the mold. I say, what? And my place didn't smell like no mildew and no goddamn mold. And grandma like, ooh. And grandma said, do me a favor, open up that balcony. Open up that balcony. Run quick, quick, quick. So I'm running through my living room. I open up the balcony. I open the sliding glass door. Boom, move the little curtains I had up there. Boom, slit them bitches. Grandma say, uh-huh. Bitch can't stand to have that wind blowing. And she said, open up the window. So I ran back across the living room, open up the window. She said, yeah, get a cross breeze blowing. And out of nowhere, grandma reached in her purse and grandma took out some shit like olive oil. I don't think it was a praying oil they use in church that they put on your forehead and make the cross and shit. She took out some kind of oil, viscous shit, and she dumped it on the spot on the ground where the lady had her head in, cause she saw had her head bashed in and shit. She saw the little blood on the rug, and she threw the oil on the wall too, sprinkle, and she got her Bible out and she started reading, like, if I'm not mistaken, it wasn't the 23rd songs. I want to say like the 25th, 27th. I don't know. I just know she's like the 20 something. You know how country folks talk. And she started reading that shit. And she was reading it as she was walking through it. And she said, come hold my hip. And I put both of my hands around my grandma's waist as she was walking through the whole house. And she was just flinging that oil all over the walls, all over the goddamn carpet, all in the kitchen. She was just flinging oil. And she was like reading that and she kept saying, you don't get to have my grandbaby. You don't get to have my grandson. You don't get to have my grandbaby. You don't get to have my grandson. Now, people, while me and grandma was up here doing this shit for about less than 10 minutes, grandma going through the whole house, the bathroom, laundry closet, me and grandma doing it, and I'm just walking with her, holding her. All of a sudden, we get a knock at the door. Boom, boom, boom. And the knock was hard as fuck. So grandma say, ignore it. It's the demon bitch. So we going. So all of a sudden, the girl I was dating, she busts in the house. Boom. When she busts in the house, people tell me why she came in that motherfucker with a white silk nightgown on, with her hair in a bob, like cut in a bob like the lady. But this time her face was all beat up like she was at one of them little pajama jammy parties and shit. And she busts in the house and she's like, what y'all doing in my house? And I'm like, you ain't been here in a while. Grandma said, ignore her. And grandma kept saying, ignore her. So I'm arguing with her, thinking it's Dimitri. Grandma said, stop talking to it. She kept saying it. it. So she's like, don't you let me go see that bitch. Hold me, hold me. So she said, don't you let me go. And the whole time, that girl was following us around the house while just talking. When we like backed up down the hallway, she didn't never physically touch us, but she would back up and she would just, what you doing? Had her hands crossed, she all in my face, shaking her head. She get in my grandma's face, shaking her head. And grandma just kept on. So after grandma got through flinging the oil, grandma put the oil back in her purse. And grandma reached in her purse, she got a cigar. And she went to each corner of the house. We was in that bitch for like an hour and a half, I swear to God. She went to the house, she went to each corner of the house blowing cigar smoke in each corner. And when she blow cigar smoke in there, she'd drop some salt in the corner. Blow cigar smoke, drop some salt in the corner. She did it in the kitchen, she did it in the living room, she did it in the bathroom, she did it in the 2 bedrooms, she did it in the laundry closet. And that girl, the girl went and sat down on the couch and she just like crossing her legs, patting her legs, shaking her head, no, 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 no. So then grandma say, I'm going to the patio, you come with me. So as we were going to the patio, we had to walk over the little spot that was on the ground, the little spot of blood and shit that was on the ground. Tell me why when I walked over the spot of little blood over the ground, grandma didn't trip, but I fell. But I didn't let grandma go. I fell and I made sure both hands was on there. And for some reason, I didn't fall and push grandma, which I thought I was going to push her, and she probably could have fell over the balcony and hurt herself or hit the pole. But I stumbled and I caught myself. And as I caught myself, I kind of like jammed my right big toe. And grandma just went and blew smoke, and she just started blowing smoke all in the house. And just one puff of cigar in the corner had the whole house smoking like a bitch was saging. And grandma just kept on waving her hand. Waving her hand. I had to hold grandma's hips. Waving her hand, and she say, get out of here, you filthy demon bitch. Get out of here. Get out of here. Now, Demetria was still sitting on the goddamn chair, cracking her legs like, I mean, her hair was immaculate. The white gown was immaculate. Her body was immaculate. Everything fly. Skin, dark, chocolate, immaculate. All of a sudden, Demetria jumped up to her feet. And she rose up kind of weird, like it was really fast. But then when she rose up, she wasn't like her regular height of like 5'6", 5'7". She was like 6'3" or something. She was taller than everybody in the house. It was weird, unless my mind was playing tricks on me. And she stood up and she just ran, like literally ran to the front door, opened the front door, and ran out the front door. But when she ran out the front door, we didn't see her run past the window. So we thought she was just on the front porch looking over the balcony. So grandma said, come on, let's check, make sure she gone. So when we got out there, people, I cannot make this shit up. And if I'm lying, I'm flying. When we got out there, people, tell me why it was a silk nightgown in front of the door. It was a silk nightgown in front of the door, hanging over the rail in front of the house. I'm telling you, man. Grandma said, we ain't got to worry about her no more. Grandma exorcised the house for me. So I say, okay, cool. So I got the little silk robe, I picked it up. I said, Grandma, what to do with this? She said, I don't care what you do it. Throw it in the trash. Don't bring that bitch back in here. So I said, okay. So I got the silk nightgown and I threw it over the balcony, just in the center of the console, because I'm like, fuck this shit. Threw it down. Tell me why when I threw it down, the Haitian lady that lived under us, she ran out there and she grabbed that nightgown and she looked back up at me and Grandma while we was on the balcony. She ran out there, grabbed it. She turned her head and she looked back at us, and she looked at us with the nastiest look on her face. And when she looked at it, she just ran back in her house and slammed her door and shut her window. And Grandma said, you see that? I knew it was something like that. Somebody was puppeteering that bitch. Say, all while you was sitting up here, that bitch down there probably was doing necromancy and had trapped that girl's spirit after she died. And she had that girl up here trapping, taking souls. And you say, you would have been dead. You would have been dead. And say, I promise you would have been dead, boy. And I say, no, grandma, no. She say, your friend died, he lived here. Everybody died around there. And so we started doing research. And it was a lot of people that was dying in that area. One lady got hit by a car in front of the apartment complex. Another dude, he got shot at the little corner beverage spot. And he lived in the complex. The Cajun lady downstairs, the other witch that grandma knew, then like kind of knew of, she was just claiming souls. And the reason why that girl got her head beat in upstairs is because the lady, the Haitian lady downstairs, was sitting up there, controlling the dude and the drinking that was going on, because the dude had the same problem my old lady had at the time, drinking, drugging, clubbing. And that lady that got beat to death was a stay-at-home chick, like I was a stay-at-home dude. So it rolled off like that. And grandma never said nothing to her. That lady never said nothing to me. She never said hey to me again, never said bye. The blood stain never came back on the rug. And I never had no more bad dreams, and I never wanted to play zombie video games again. It got crazy. My life got better. I left Dimitri alone, and everything got better. Simple as that. Now, people, I don't know what the fuck that story mean to you. I don't know, was it funny, true, or scary to you, but it happened. Yeah, I know it had a lot of moving parts, and I can explore in the recap, but that's what happened. I'm finna let y'all go. All right, everybody, I'm tight. Telling y'all, sometimes the truth is stranger than fiction, but it's the truth, no doubt. Take care, everybody. Stay safe.